What is going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you exactly what it's like to drive the 2020 BMW M8 Competition Gran Coupe. Now, there are three different body styles of the M8. There's the Coupe, there's the convertible, and then there is this, the Gran Coupe, which actually is a four-door, not a two-door. Personally, this is the one I would go for. It's actually 9 inches longer than the Coupe, giving you tons more space in the rear. I love the design language. To me, it seems like a unique alternative to buying a BMW M5. Now, this thing packs a serious punch, so let's go ahead and open up the engine compartment to show off its massive V8. Go ahead and pull this twice like all BMWs. I love the fact that you don't have to use a little release lever inside, you just pull that twice. Open up the hood. Now, it's making a ton of noise because I just went for a canyon mob. 4.4 liter V8 making 617 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. The car is cooling itself down because it's very hot and humid out right now. The crazy part is, despite being 4,500 pounds, because this car has variable all-wheel drive, it's actually able to sprint from 0 to 60 miles an hour in just 3 seconds flat, according to BMW. Now, Car and Driver states it can sprint from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. So make sure to stay to the end of the review because I'm going to be going over some of the interior details, taking it out for a drive, and then using a V-Box to determine how quick the M8 Competition can truly sprint from 0 to 60. All right, to start this review off, let's go ahead and hop into the interior, the rear seat area of the M8 Competition. And honestly, it's a really nice place to be because the M8 Gran Coupe has that 9 inches additional space. Look how much legroom I have. Tons, plenty of headroom as well. Now, technically, this is actually a 5-seater car, so you can sit somebody in the middle here, although if you're straddling this centerpiece, it's not actually all that comfortable. I love the fact, though, that we've got climate control back here, we've got heated seats, but this car is all about the driving experience, so let's go up to the front of the M8 Gran Coupe. I also love the fact that they've included a carbon fiber roof to lower the weight distribution, lower down on the vehicle. The interior of the M8 is a fantastic place to be. We've got leather absolutely everywhere. I love the diamond stitch design language in the seats as well as the doors, carbon fiber. Everything feels premium and nice to the touch. Love this steering wheel. As with all traditional new M cars, we've got M1 and M2 buttons, which you can use to customize jump quickly to the driving mode of your preference. So M1 right now is set to Sport Plus for the engine, Sport Plus for the chassis, steering, and brake. You can even actually change the intensity of the brakes. So this comes on a little bit more smoothly, and this is more sporty, and that bite point comes quicker, which I actually really, really like. Now, the cool thing about the M8, one of its party tricks, is the fact that it has variable all-wheel drive. So if we go ahead and turn traction control all the way off here, up on the screen it'll say Configure MX Drive. And if you see down here, you can choose between four-wheel drive Sport, which is a more rear-biased four-wheel drive setup, and two-wheel drive. So this car can actually go fully rear-wheel drive for crazy drifts and burnouts, which I absolutely love. You get the best of both worlds, being able to launch efficiently in sport mode and in inclement weather. You can drive, it's about to pour rain, I feel like, so it'll be nice that there's all-wheel drive, but it's super cool that you still have that BMW M enthusiast rear-wheel drive layout as an option. Now, there's also some cool gesture controls inside the vehicle. You can turn up the radio by going like this. You can turn down the radio by going like that. You can also choose the next track by swiping your thumb over to the side like you're stabbing your neighbor. I kind of like that, actually. I thought it was a gimmick at first, but it actually works pretty well. Now, if we go to M mode right here, you can change the screen layout from this right here to a much cooler vertically positioned tachometer and speedo. We've also got a very lovely heads-up display in front of me as well. Now, if you keep this M mode pressed down, it'll actually activate track mode, which shuts off this main screen, turns off the radio, gives you a little bit more information, so it's set up for the track. Personally, though, I like to keep it in sport mode. And of course, there's those different driving modes as I've explained in M1 and M2. But let's go ahead and actually drive this thing. Confirm M2 mode. Now, it's an 8-speed automatic ZF transmission. It's not a dual clutch system, but the transmission shifts very, very quickly. Right off the bat, you immediately realize how quick the M8 Competition truly is. 617 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque, and because it's all-wheel drive, the power is usable at any speed. Torque comes in instantaneously at very low RPM, so you don't have to shift down as many gears as you'd be used to in a naturally aspirated vehicle where you've got to string out the engine more to receive all of that power. This thing is usable at all times. Now, the incredible part is if you put it into comfort mode, it actually is pretty comfortable. This is an unbelievable luxury car that you could drive on a daily basis, no problem whatsoever. It's really nice inside. I love the fact that it's got ambient lighting, tons of different color options to choose from. This bluish purple color, lilac, I believe, is probably my favorite, although the blue shines through a little bit more intensely. I love the fact that at nighttime, when you open up the doors, these M8 logos in the headrests actually illuminate, which is really cool. Now, for a luxury car, these seats actually hold you in place really well. They're definitely sportier than something like an S63 coupe from Mercedes would be. It also handles better than an S63. It's not quite as luxury and comfort oriented, although obviously it looks drop dead gorgeous in here and it rides nicely in comfort mode, but this is definitely more of a performance oriented sports coupe. Although this one, it's a sedan, but it's a coupe, but it's a sedan. It also sounds really, really good on overrun. When you let off the gas, it's got these nice cracks and pops, not too much, but they penetrate into the cabin just to make the driving experience a little bit more exciting. All right, so let's go into full rear wheel drive mode right now. Turn traction control all the way off. Configure MX drive, two-wheel drive, first gear. Let's see if we can do a burnout. Oh yeah. Just lit up a cloud of smoke behind me. This thing pulls burnout so easily in rear wheel drive mode, and I imagine is fantastic to drift in an environment that doesn't have cliffs on either side of me. I don't think I'll be doing any drifting right now. Put it back into four-wheel drive sport. That gives you a little bit of that rear bias. When you lose traction, it's very, very neutral. It doesn't seem to oversteer or understeer. It just feels very confident through the turns. And with that all-wheel drive, you can send it through corners quicker than you could with rear-wheel drive, unless you are, of course, a professional driver. That added grip really does feel, it gives you that extra confidence behind the wheel. This car does feel smaller behind the wheel than its massive size would suggest, and handles better than you'd imagine as well, but definitely it is not as nimble and lightweight as the new M3, so don't expect that. But it also rides and has an interior that feels a lot nicer than the new M3. It also sounds better because it's got that glorious V8. Now that we are up at the top of the canyon, this is a perfect place to do a little launch control to see how quick this thing can truly sprint from 0 to 60 miles an hour. So I'm gonna pull over, get out that V-Box, and see what this thing can do. All right, we've got the V-Box set up, which is just in time because it's literally about to pour rain. I just saw a massive lightning bolt appear. So to get the car ready, we've got ESC in DSC mode. We've got the car in manual, shift speed all the way up. Let's go ahead and pull out onto the road. Floor the brake, floor the gas. Launch control active, and go! That was quick. What'd we get? 3.2 seconds on the first run. Let's see if we can run it back and get a little bit faster of a time, but I'm pretty satisfied with 3.2 seconds. It felt like there was a little bit of wheel spin there. All right. That time I tried launching it manually. See if we got a little faster of a time. All right, V-Box. Manual shifting. Nope, 3.5 seconds. All right, let's run it back with launch control one last time to see if we can beat 3 seconds in the M8 Grand Coupe before it pours rain. But man, I do love the way this thing drives. It's such an amazing balance of a luxury daily driver and a performance sports car at the same time. I don't want to give this car back. I've had such a blast with it. And that, of course, is a true marker of an excellent vehicle. It also has a fantastic backup camera, of course, lane keep assist, it can park itself, so on and so forth. There are a ton of creature comforts that the M8 includes on top of that brilliant engine, transmission, powertrain, and the styling. I really love the way this vehicle looks. I think they killed it with the styling on the M8. And I kind of wish they went with more of a similar styling with the new M3 as they have in this vehicle. But you know what? We'll see what the next generation of M5 and M8 has to offer. Last run in the M8 Grand Coupe. Let's go. .1 seconds. There we go. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.